how do you get more patients without doing doctor like marketing and getting doctor referrals all the time? I got tired of chasing my tail too, so you're here for it. My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist, and over 10 years ago I started my therapy clinic in Miami, and over 5 years ago I started Hand Therapy Secrets to help therapists develop their clinical skills, and now I share business skills every week on Wednesdays. So let's dive into how you can get out of that like chasing of doctor referrals, because sometimes it's for the birds. So I'm going to share with you 3 things: how to get more patients without relying on doctor referrals. Okay, 3 of them, because I love 3s. I don't know why. All right, direct to consumer marketing. We can talk about organic or we can talk about paid. But yours, like I'm an occupational therapist, and I am speaking directly to people who need occupational therapy. By the way, they never need fucking occupational therapy, but I'm going to dive into that a little bit. But I can do organic or paid, but that's me talking directly to people with particular types of problems, right? Number 2, you can write blogs, you can write articles for magazines, you can write books. Sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're, you just have to start your own thing, such as writing blogs and writing your own book. So go into details about that. And of course, the last one is to getting more patients is word of mouth. Now, word of mouth is very powerful, but it's very slow. So let's talk about the stuff that can help you fast. So I often talk about 2 things. There's a bank of today and a bank of tomorrow. So sometimes if you want, to get people in today, you're going to have to go directly to the consumer. Go fishing into that pond, right? Wherever you live, there's a mile radius around you, or if you want to extend the radius around you, but talking about specific problems, then you can do that. Now, I see different groups ask this question, and I honestly, yes, this is Hand Therapy Secrets. I talk a lot about hand therapy and stuff like that, but honestly, if you're a therapist, it doesn't matter if you're peds, geriatrics, hand therapy, whatever it is that you specialize in. I specialize in hand and upper extremity and spine, so I'm doing a lot more spine in my clinic. But direct to consumer marketing, I do 2 things. I do paid and I do organic. So I had to I don't want to say perfect. I had to really practice my organic, so then my paid was much more valuable. Now, did I fuck up along the way? I sure did. It's okay. Everyone does, right? That's how you learn. So I am trying to embrace more and more every day the power of failing, the power of doing and failing, so I can get to my success earlier. I wish I knew this early on. I thought I did, but then there's that resistance that your body is just like, no, I don't want to fail, please, and so you're doing all this stuff not to fail, but actually if you failed faster, you would go faster, you would make more money, and you'd grow faster. But one of the things that I did is when I first started getting into organic, and then I started paying a little bit, because I was so scared to spend my money, I would boost my posts. And it's like the worst thing that you could do, but since Meta wants your money, they're going to be like, boost this post. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a waste of money. But what I do is I wanted to get better and better with my marketing, and so I was constantly working on reading marketing books. I was consuming videos on it. I paid to go into several different programs so I could really improve my marketing. But that's what's called direct to consumer marketing, because as a therapist, I was always taught to go market to doctors, and the way we market to doctors was all wrong anyway. So it's not that helpful. So I'd be like, oh, my name is Juan, I'm an occupational therapist, and you should send me your patients because I'm a certified hand therapist, right? So I would get them, but I would always get them because they were very, very particular about a certain way they wanted to do things, or it was because insurance was very particular about the way they wanted to do things. And so depending on who you want to work with, you now can go direct to consumer. And we never used to have that before. It was always like, oh my God, let's go to doctors. No. With social media, it's free. You can go direct to whoever you want to talk to and talk to them. Say, hey, these are my services. This is what I provide. If you have problem 1, 2, or 3, I can help you. And here's my cost. It's literally that simple. Yeah, you want to say it nicer or, in a way that's more compelling. But for the most part, that's the formula of the message, right? You can do it organic. So first, I would recommend posting as much organic as possible across different platforms. And then once you start getting the language of it and you're like, oh, this is doing well, this sounds really good, put some money behind it. Again, you have to live in a certain amount of uncertainty of like, I'm going to spend this much money and then I'm going to make money on the back end. Not earning money or not getting phone calls to your business will tell you if you're shitty or not, right? Every therapist thinks they're really wonderful and really great, but we're going into the business world and we're not probably as great as we thought we were in the therapy realm. Just because we're great therapists doesn't mean like all of a sudden we're great at marketing. So you have to hone that skill and you have to practice that skill so that you could speak to people in a way that they feel understood, so that they'll come and do some work with you. So direct to consumer marketing, go out there and talk to them. I do that for my clinic. I go out and I make videos very specific on problems people have. I answer specific questions that people have, and then I share my information freely. And then if I see certain things work, then I will put some money behind it, and that's how I market direct to consumers, and that's how I get more patients without any doctor referrals. Number 2 is, for the longest time I was writing blogs. Sorry, my eye's itching. For the longest time I was writing blogs for my website. And the reason why that's still really good is because of search engine optimization. So some people say it's dying, but the people who are saying it's dying is because they want you to pay in ad spend. But for as long as I've been in business and longer, SEO is still like really important. It's still, one of the biggest metrics of being found on the internet. Like, there's so much on the internet. Like, if your consumer or even your doctor can't find you, then they can't send you any patients. Now, we get calls, almost every day from various doctors' offices where their front desk is looking for therapists to send their patients to, because maybe they don't have anyone that goes and markets to their clinic and all that good stuff, and their patients are asking for certain things. And so we'll get doctor's office calling and saying, oh, do you take insurance? Oh, where are you located? I'm like, that should be easy. Didn't you find me on my website? Writing will help you with that. I think writing also helps you put concepts down and helps you to organize your thinking, so that when you write stuff down and it organizes your thinking, then you can go and do the direct to consumer marketing really well. You can use your words, you can create videos, however you want to do it. I think there's a lot of power in videos, but there's definitely a huge space for words. It comes in the form of blogs. You can write articles. If you're really big into PR, you can, pitch your stuff to different magazines. You can pay to have your articles in magazines. I find that things that come out only once a month don't do as well as things that come out weekly. So I used to write and I used to pay for it to be in certain magazines or newspapers. Now, even though it's kind of dying a little bit, some areas do really well and some areas don't. Like, I live in a really huge city, and so each municipal, right, a city within a city has their own newspapers and stuff like that. And I used to be in one, but the one that was once a week, they always did better than the ones that came out once a month. And I was paying like almost the same, whereas the once a month was more expensive, and I would never get anyone freaking calling me. I would use the same articles that I wrote. And the ones that are weekly, you get like your frequent readers, but also you have to think about who's reading them, right? So if you're not going for an older patient population, then why would you put your shit in an article, right? You're better off making TikToks. It depends on where your patient population lives and spends their time. But writing is really great. Writing a book can be really good as well to help you market. So I wrote a book for my therapy clinic over 6 years ago, and I still use it to this day to help, market my clinic, set myself up as an expert in the area of hand and upper extremity. And, between watching my YouTube videos and seeing my social media posts and seeing that my book is on Amazon and that I have it available at my clinic, that I've spent that much time writing it. Now, it's a legit book. I didn't just put this shit together with AI and whatever. I literally sat here and wrote it for the year. I got an editor. I had 2 editors. I had a regular general editor and had a line editor to make my book sound real, because I wanted it to be this real book that I put together that was going to help somebody. Therapists buy that book. People in my area buy that book. It's not like a ton of people buy it, but I do use it to give out in my clinic as well for people who are a little bit more skeptical, or they just want to learn more about, what they can think and what they can do. It's just to start someone out. It's not to oh my God, I'm going to fix your trigger finger. I can't fix everyone's problems in one book. So, but it starts them understanding what's going on from a fundamental framework, so they can really think about what they need to do, to help fix their problem. So anyway, writing is still really powerful, and it is a form of direct to consumer marketing. Now, the third one I think is really important and is the most powerful. It's word of mouth. But the thing with word of mouth is, as strong as it is, it's very, very slow to get on. So the way that word of mouth works is you have to be really consistent about it. And some people can automate it, but if you're really small, I'm small, I have 1 clinic, right? I'm not trying to set up these huge automations of constantly sending people hey, leave me a review. We ask our patients. We manually ask our patients. We send them the link. We ask them how, to share their story, basically, because people are looking at Google reviews to decide whether they should come to you or not. Here's the thing. Even shitty therapy clinics get good reviews because it gets some people to just say great things, right? I know in my town, okay, I'm going to talk shit right now. I know in my town some of the shittiest therapy clinics, right? Because I have heard, and yet they have 5-star reviews. So to me, getting 5-star reviews isn't enough to be a strong, powerful word of mouth referral source for me. A strong word of mouth referral source for me is when you tell a story of how I was able to help you. So even though on our sites we have people who say, oh, this 5 stars is great, I want to hear how it was great. And it's because people look and say, oh, do they actually do this? Oh, do they fix this? Right? Oh, do they help people with hand problems? Oh, do they help people with neck problems? So you're not going to get everyone to do it, but if you get a good amount of people to do it, people will gravitate to your place via word of mouth, just from really, really great Google reviews, right? I love the reviews when people are like, I went to another therapy clinic. I did this and I didn't get the results, and I came here and they helped me X, Y, and Z, make a decision, do the whatever it was that got them. I personally love that on my program side. Oh, I was unsure. I'm working in a SNF, but I want to move into hand therapy. And when I took Huang's manual therapy course, blah, 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 when I joined her mentorship program, blah, 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 You know, I've had people in my business program say that, oh, I've joined other business programs and it just sort of like helped me get started, but I didn't really know how to price my products. I didn't really know how to market or create a marketing system that would help me, you know, be able to grow my, here we go, right? So I like those types of very specific stories, and I would encourage you, if you are working and you want a certain amount of word, listen, we all need a certain amount of word of mouth, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other, it's one and the other. It's all of this, right? It's all of this. But word of mouth, they're very strong. It's just slow to get, and you have to provide the outcome in order to get that referral, right? So it's very, you know, it takes a lot of work, but anything worth getting is worth the work. Keep that in mind. And those are the 3 ways that I get business for my clinic, and I do it for my program side. None of it's different. It's literally the same. Whatever I've learned to do for my clinic, I'm literally doing for Hand Therapy Secrets. Hand Therapy Secrets for my courses, for my exam prep, for all of that, for my business course, I am writing. I'm actually launching a new book at the end of this month. I'm not sure when you're going to see this video, but I'm launching it May 26th. It's a practice exam book. It's a specific book, it's a book very specific to help someone study for the CHT to become a certified hand therapist. So in your realm, whatever you're doing as an occupational therapist, whatever your specialty is, how can you write your book? I'm writing my book. It only took me 6 years. But I've been doing other shit. It's not like I've been sitting around doing nothing. But this book has been in my mind, on my mind, and in my mind for years, right? Ever since I started the exam prep and it took off and I started doing all this work for it, I was like, one day I'm going to write this book, and now it is here. It just took a while because I have other shit going on. And that's okay. I'm doing exactly the same thing for that I am doing for my clinic side. So don't think that just because your business looks different from my business, or you're working with kids, or you're in home health, or you're working with geriatrics, that somehow your population of patients are so different from mine that you cannot employ these 3 things. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave me a link, comment or whatever below. But if you want to work with me personally, my links are below. And if you want to get on my email list just to get more insider tips, my link is also below. All right, I will see you next week.